Yes. Okay, leave it. You
Okay,
can
okay.
just...
Last method I'll try.
Sir, share your full screen, sir.
Okay, okay. I'm sharing.
You're not sharing full
Share
screen.
your screen, then go to slideshow.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, you are sharing, but you're not sharing full screen. Yeah, now, 1 second. And now you
Is
make
that
it full. Yeah, now it's going. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I welcome all the participants to this AROHAN lecture series 7. So it's been successfully, we have completed 6 series with the support of all the officials of higher education and DTE. Now we have today's speaker, Dr. Nagesh from Government Engineering JPI. The session is on IoT in healthcare systems. Dr. Nagesh, to introduce briefly about Dr. Nagesh, Nagesh is currently working as assistant professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering at the Government SKJTI Technological Institute, Bangalore. So, demonstrating his commitment to academic leadership, he has also served as head of the Department of ENC Department at SKJTI, Bangalore, and also at Government Engineering College, Chamarajanagar. Dr. Nagesh completed his PhD from VTU, Belgaum, specializing in computer networks, and his academic journey includes earning a master's degree in VLSI and embedded systems from VTU, Belgaum, and a bachelor's degree in electronics and communication engineering from RV College of Engineering, Bangalore. So he's got all over 22 years of combined experience in industry and teaching. Dr. Nagesh has contributed significantly to the field, and his industry strengths include impactful roles at Wipro Technologies and Tata Elxsi Limited, where he has served as senior chip design engineer, contributing to notable projects such as BMW, Ferrari, FlexRay team, and N90 handsets launched by Nokia. It's our pleasure, Nagesh, to have you on this occasion. I hope you'll be able to share your knowledge among all the participants. Once again, I welcome all the principals and all teaching staffs and students for this AROHAN Series 7. Over to you, Nagesh. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As sir introduced me, I'm Dr. Nagesh, Assistant Professor, Government SKSJTI Care Circle, Bangalore. My today's topic is IoT in healthcare systems. At the outset, I would like to give brief introduction about what is IoT. Computers and internets are dependent on human beings for information. The problem is that we have limited time, attention, and accuracy, all of which means that we are not good at capturing data about the real world. What is the solution? Why don't we empower the devices to gather the information by themselves, which is more reliable and accurate and even timely? So such devices which are allowed to capture information and they themselves upload onto the internet, such a class of devices will come and fall as IoTs. The father of IoT, Ashton K, devised this term. In my contents, I would be speaking about impact of IoT in healthcare industry. Okay, the overview and components of IoT in healthcare is like the sensors are the underlying ones, the underlying infrastructure, connectivity channels, healthcare analytics, and IoT platform. The sensors, which I will be discussing in detail, the sensors will gather the information, give it to the underlying architecture, which are hardware and software components, and that will be analyzed by the healthcare analytics and provided to an IoT platform where the healthcare providers can analyze this platform data sets. Okay, the benefits of employing IoT in healthcare is that the reporting and monitoring, connectivity and affordability, the data analysis, tracking, asserts, and remote medical assistance. The role of IoT and technologies for effective medical management is like, for medical professionals, it will enable the professionals to connect with the patients to provide personalized services. The benefit is that they identify optimal treatment plan for patients. preventive healthcare of patients and preventive healthcare. We can access our personalized care through constant reminders and alerts and example fitment bands and glucometers, which I'll be discussing later on, which reduces the healthcare emergencies by 15% through constant tracking. At the hospital level, the hospitals can track real-time location of medical devices such as wheelchairs, oxygen pumps, etc. There also, it saves costs and improves the overall efficiency of hospital functioning. The health insurance companies, of course, they can collect data used for underwriting and claiming procedures, and it improves the costings and claiming processes and risk evaluation. The architecture of IoT is that the lowest level you have data collection, as I mentioned, that is the perception level. And the network level is the data transmission and storage, which includes wireless network to store and exchange data. And at the application level is interpreting data, what data which has been gathered, interpret and apply the healthcare data and provide user-specific health data for service delivery. This is the 4-layer IOMT, Internet of Medical Things architecture model. As I mentioned, sensor level with various sensors like these are there, which I will be elaborating later on. The network layer with various technologies for connecting like 3G, 4G, Bluetooth, wireless and all those. The internet and the cloud and the services provided like the patient service, hospital, doctor services, emergency response and as such. The Internet of Medical Things segments classification, they can be classified as on-body segments, in home segments, community segments, in clinic and in hospital. Those which we wear are called as on-body segments. Though at home, we have some trackers and telehealth and virtual visits. Such things will be in-home. And community-wise is like mobility services, emergency responses. And in clinic is that those devices present in clinic that can be used in clinic to deliver medical care services. And in hospitals are those like asset management, dashboards, inventory management, which will help hospital for proper functionality. The technologies used in the medical care supplies are like narrowband IoT for which have wide range of applications, and applications are insulin pumps, continuous glucose monitors. Bluetooth will be used by wearable sensors like fitness trackers and all those which we wear on our body. The Wi-Fi, certain medical imaging and devices, streaming devices. Just a second. Sorry. Yeah. Zigbee is a technology which is used by wearable sensors. Again, 5G and cellulars, which have varied range of applications. The challenges in implementing IoT in health sector is like security breaches and malware and viruses which might occur, and human errors and the denial of service DOS attacks. Of course, the cost involved for the development is expensive as of now. The devices are fully not mature, and you have inaccuracies in devices, and the multi-device integration of various IoTs into the existing infrastructure is actually challenging. These are the various challenges which are faced by the health sector. Why do we need it then? Like all of us know that the mortality has increased. That is, we are living for long, but the problem is that all of us are living with some diseases and ailments. We have lots of lifestyle-related diseases like BP or sugar or many other ailments, and medical staff shortage is there. Thereby, if you can implement or use technology like IoT, you get a better medical healthcare. The global market for IoT health is like in 2021, it was $180 billion. It is expected by 2030, it will be $960 billion. This is because of number of chronic disorder patients are increasing. The innovative technologies have been used. That's why the IoT indeed, by this slide, we can say it is going to, the IoT in healthcare will be a huge market by indeed. Now, let us focus on already existing IoT devices which are presently in use in healthcare industry. The first one is like wearable devices, fixed trackers. Most of us already are using these smartphones and smart watches fitness bands which track our walking, various parameters like the sleeping pattern, in most of the various parameters on a daily need which will are tracked here. Smartwatches, wearable ECG monitors. There are, if you can look at this diagram, people with heart ailments can have embedded devices like this, which will be continuously monitoring the ECG of a patient, and this can indeed send the ECG to the doctor or hospital, where if there is any variation, it can be addressed. This device, most of us have seen, pulse oximeter during COVID, which measures the oxygen level in our lungs. If it goes down, corrective actions can be. These are also connected to internet these days. You have smart blood pressure monitors. Apart from just monitoring the blood pressure, they will be measuring the ECG also, and thereby they can get connect to the doctor. So this is a very interesting one. Most of majority of today people are suffering with diabetes. We go to a doctor, and based on our glucose level, the doctor will analyze our 3 months sugar level and advise us on the medicine. But indeed, it is better if we can monitor on a real-time way, and if we can provide administer the dosages accordingly. This is one such device, a smart, glucose monitor, which few of you would have come across, which can be embedded, which will be stuck to the body part, and this will transmit information through app to smartphone, thereby giving us realistic and real-time information about the blood sugar level. This information, there are again devices like the embedded to the body, where you can monitor the insulin level instead of getting or eating the tablets which are given by doctor. This kind of prescription plays a bigger role, like based on the real-time existing glucose level. These are insulin pumps which deliver insulin to body based on the real-time value. This is a picture of a neurological monitor to measure the EEG of a patient who might be probably suffering from epilepsy or any brain disorder. This is a kind of wireless one. See, measuring EEG is a complex process. It time consuming. But some companies have developed a wearable EEG monitoring device, which is again another example of IoT in wearable devices. There are certain implantable devices like cardiac pacemakers, neurosimulators, and such things. Like most of us know what is cardiac pacemaker, but these days cardiac pacemakers are more intelligent, and something going wrong with the patient's heart, real-time information can be given to the hospital for effective management. This is a neurostimulator. If the neuron is not functioning, this can be implemented onto the neurons directly, and as and when there needs some signal to be given to the neurons, these neurostimulators can do that job. This is the cochlear implant, where people suffering from hearing loss. There is an interesting, which was there from very long time, cochlear implant, wherein the audio which has been sensed by the hearing aid can be, it will be transmitted through a transmitter here, and you have a receiver within the skull which receives this information, and through an electrode it will provide it to the cochlea. Thereby, even people, if their eardrum is not functioning, they will be able to listen to the audio and voice signals or whatever. But what is interesting is upon implementation of IoT, these cochlear implants have become smart. Every time there's a problem with the cochlear, every time this maintenance and reprogramming needs to be taken up. For every time for reprogramming, the patient needs to go to the healthcare and get it programmed. Due to the advent of IoT, these cochlear implants are more smart, and with your smartphone, you can get connected to the healthcare provider. Instead of visiting him, you can remote program it. So that is the advantage of IoT these days in place of these kind of implantable devices. Another interesting is glaucoma. Most of the most common age-related issue is glaucoma due to the pressure of the intraocular pressure. There would be vision loss. That is called as glaucoma. There are certain companies which has come up with lenses like this, which will automatically sense the intraocular pressure and transmit it to the your smartphone or to whatever healthcare devices you have. Thereby, real-time monitoring of the intraocular pressure can be done, and people who have actually gone and got this, this intraocular pressure or glaucoma tested will know the time and tediousness in which the pressure of an eye will be sensed. That can be avoided using sensors like this. See, these are set of stationary devices like smart beds. This is a very commonly used even in India. This is a Doxy bed which measures or understands the pattern or parameters of the patient. These are employed in many hospitals these days. Instead of these kind of smart beds can actually sense various parameters and give it to the bedside monitors or even hospital management systems. One interesting thing which I came across is that, okay, in ICU, there might be few attenders and there might be multiple number of patients. There are artificial intelligence AI techniques there. Looking at the image of a patient, these AI cameras can these days understand if there's something going wrong with the patient, even though the patient is not trying to express the problems. These smart devices present in the ICUs, they can take care of all these things. These are ECG machines, EKG or ECG machines, which are also smart these days. Ventilators are smart, providing the right kind of airflow to the lungs. These days, MRIs and CT scans. Earlier, the image of MRI and CT should have been printed and given to a doctor based on the analysis. Nowadays, it is more smart. These MRIs and CT scanners apply artificial intelligence and try to predict certain already learned diseases, ailments. So it makes the doctor, physician more easy for him. Earlier, one study, I came across a study where earlier, because of the advent of AI and IoT, where a patient used to measure attend, where a doctor used to attend patients up to 200. Because of these techniques, even such doctors are able to view or attend to 2,000 around patients. Dialysis machines have become smart. If people are aware of how tedious the dialysis process is, like there will be an incision in the hand or whichever place it is between the artery and the vein, that kind of connection, that has become more smart, and the way you don't need that kind of these days dialysis as the incision has reduced, and thereby it has become less tedious. That's what I can say. The other remote monitoring tools like blood pressure monitors, smart scales, these are also connected to internet. There are weigh scales which measure your body mass, BMI index, and suggest you that if you are overweight or obese, or these are again connected to internet, and you can get a real time as well as track your weight loss or weight gain. Specialized cameras, as I mentioned in the previous slide, I mentioned glucose monitoring also in the previous slide I mentioned. This is a very interesting device which I came across, a smart pill dispenser. After a trauma or an injury or an operation, there will be huge number of pills patients are expected to eat. Generally, this is not a regular trend, which will not be for a long time. It will be difficult for attender as well as patient to understand how many pills I have to eat. This is a smart device in which the pills are loaded, and timely it opens the window of this pill dispenser opens and suggests the patient to take a particular pill. And after this has been dispersed, this pill dispenser is capable of sending this data to hospital or whosoever it is, so that they can keep a track of whether the patient has administered the required medicine which we have given. The IoT operation tools at the hospital level, like asset management, asset tracking, and hygiene management, and waste management. I would like to speak about asset management and waste management. See, asset management is like there there might be a hospital, particularly if it is. It can be any hospital for that matter. If the hospital needs a track of whether how many beds you have are functional, are used, how many ICU beds are there, which is getting vacant, or medicine supplies. If you can think of a scenario where you can automate all these things and place the records of all these things to the internet, the hospital admin, hospital management can actually decide whether we should go for an inventory or better utilization of the hospital assets are be there. Another interesting fact is that waste management. Waste management in hospital is very important, because there might be organ waste, there can be radioactive waste, there can be different types of waste. Of course, that is a different science altogether. But there is a tendency that this has to be segregated properly and disposed properly, and disposable time also. Like most of the hospital waste cannot be left open for a longer time. Like it will have a specific time. So what they will do is, like these days, the smart waste management, in whatever waste they provide, whatever waste there is being generated, that will be applied with QR code and GPS and all those things. And the hospital ownership will be there. Even after sending the waste, it can track whether the waste what we generated will get disposed in timely. So these are the various IoT aided devices which are existing in healthcare. In the research and development, you have organ on chip, genetic analyzers, robot assisted surgeries, which are totally smart these days. Robotic assisted surgeries, invention by itself, like this gives accuracy, blood loss is less, the number of cuts are less. This is due to the advent of IoT. Smart inhalers, again, these are smart. It can tell whether the patient has, you can track whether they are inhaling the medicine properly. This information again will be provided to. This another interesting, which most of us underestimate. As you all know, we need a minimum of 8 hours sleep, but a staggering number of 100 million people in India are having sleep disorder. I was shocked to understand sleep itself is a disorder, it seems. If you're not, even if you're sleeping for 8 hours a day and you're not getting the right kind of sleep, in the sense, because of overweight or stress or whatever, during your sleep, it is said that our oxygen flow or air flow in our lung is struck for minutes together and hours together, and thereby our blood is deprived of oxygen, and this is a very serious disease, but most of us will be suffering, and we are not aware of it. It is better we go back and get tested. There are various tests which gives sleep reports like this. Sleep is a very important thing after understanding this monitor. These are wearable devices wherein you monitor the way pattern in which we sleep and the oxygen level in our blood during our sleep pattern. Is it right enough, so that we can avoid a very important, very major disaster in future. So these are the various devices which have augmented the healthcare sector. These technologies have improved the healthcare to a very great level. Apart from this, there is remote monitoring. Whatever data we have sensed can be given to a service manager. Can be given to a cloud, and the cloud to the cloud service manager is connected. So thereby, whatever parameters you have mentioned, it will go to cloud, and the care providers can get into cloud and suggest you proper advisory. The benefits of remote monitoring is enhance accessibility, reduces response time, reduces admin paperwork, increases precision, reduces cost. overview is like the use of telecommunication. And if I want to speak about telemedicine, it is the use of telecommunication and information technology to deliver medical care for medical care facilities to patients remotely. A virtual consultation during pandemic of COVID-19, there were lots of countries which came up with virtual hospitals where patient need not come to the hospital to get the diagnosis. This is the architecture of a telemedicine. There will be patient, if he is in a rural area or at a long distance when compared to where the hospital is, he can visit the primary health care center. This model applies to countries like us where the rural economy is, ours is a rural economy. You can visit to a primary health center where the various vital parameters are measured, and that data is uploaded to the cloud, and the doctor sitting at at a distance can have a teleconference with that patient, and he can provide solutions to his ailments. This is one of the advantage of telemedicine and implementation of IoTs, which has made this dream reality. Smart hospitals, as I mentioned, the assets and the resources across the hospitals can be monitored properly so that provide real-time and accelerating patient experience can be given. Requirement of smart hospitals for urgency, quality improvement, health health service realization, empowering patients, and need for accountability. Asset tracking I spoke about. This is the architecture of the asset tracking, like where the various assets of the hospitals have been tracked, RFID, as I mentioned earlier, and this can be given to medical staff for administering properly. Then strategies, okay, ethics with IoT, like privacy is a concern. You need execute user-centric design. The accountability and transparency is a concern, and regular framework developments of standards and regulatory bodies will come into picture. The best practices, the attack, the surface visibility, segregated internal networking, and zero trust. You have to ensure attack the IoT devices to the hospital or the complete network to ensure that all the devices are not prone to attack, or the data which is available can be administered properly to see if attacks is there. You have to use the secure network, make sure that you avoid further attacks. Cyber security is a kind of concern in case of IoT. Okay, what is the impact of IoT on different healthcare on patients? Of course, you have personalized treatment. On physicians, you can have data collected from devices to ensure efficiency, and already some kind of prediction will be there, and based on that, he can predict. On hospitals, as I mentioned, tracking various asset management, health equipment, wheelchairs, thereby reducing the resource loss. These are the examples of dashboards in softwares which are implemented. The complete IoTs within the hospital will give information, and you have the hospital can have a dashboard like this, which provides healthcare data, deployment, Internet of Things, include indicators and patient satisfaction, feedback, and all those things. This is another dashboard example wherein the hospital management, various hospitals, how many patients have been admitted, what is the readmission rates, average length of stay, how many doctors are there, what kind of specialists are there, what kind of cases are coming. This is a dashboard of patient health monitoring. Patient health monitoring through IoT devices such as sleep hours, like what was his BP, blood cholesterol, body temperature. This can be viewed by patient as well as doctor to get a real-time view of tracking. So there are few case studies which I don't want, which I'll take one among them. It is like CardiLink, which I came across. An interesting fact is like there are defibrillators which are employed in hospitals, airports, and various important places. But likewise, what we place the fire equipment extinguishers at our office, we don't generally say if they are working or not. In case of emergency, there might be a scenario that these kind of defibrillators might not work. If a patient is suffering or a common man in a passenger in a airport suffers and they try to use this AD, but it fails. So what is the solution is like CardLink is a company which is a cloud-based IT platform, has connected the AED fleet to check if regularly if, it's working. Online checks whether the defibrillator. So thereby, all wherever they have installed, they have tracked this and understood. Okay, each of these defibrillators are working and they come into real use. This one case study because of IoT, these have become a reality. So there are of course various challenges in case of IoT implementation, but what we can conclude is that because technology has been used in healthcare in the near future or already it has started, the healthcare has become more smart and more people are focused towards health. Thereby we have a better living, and I hope all of us in future will have make use of these devices and healthcare equipments so that we can have a better life. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Nagesh. I request participants, I think Gangadhar MC, yeah, you can just unmute your mic and you can ask question. You raised your hand. Hello, Gangadhar? Sir, Kundruka sir? Hello? Hello? Anand Nayak sir?
Hello.
Hanuman Nayak.
Basalaj.
Yeah,
This is Professor Pundarika.
sir, please proceed, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Nagesh, for your excellent presentation as far as application of the IoT in health monitoring system. Just I am wondering, are there any case study where you can substantiate the application of these devices, IoT based devices, is helping the patients in improving the conditions, as well as how comfortable the patients are who are making use of these devices?
Yeah, so thanks for your question, sir. That is what I had 3 case studies at the end of it. Due to lack of time, I confined myself to only one case study. There have been surveys and these kind of feedbacks have been taken at various healthcare centers globally. These have these.
Please, Nagesh, please,
Are
please,
there any organizations based at Bangalore?
Sorry, sir.
Are there any organization, health monitoring organization based at Bangalore?
Based on?
Based at Bangalore.
Sir,
Bangalore.
if you can ask me if it's a regulatory body, I'm not sure if government has taken up that kind of regulation in case of IoT management, but there are lots of companies. See, this is like many companies like GE or DOSI and many other companies which have lots of IoT devices implemented in hospitals. Naturally, they have this kind of feedback which they have taken, which increases their business models.
Okay. So do you foresee any threat or some kind of limitations?
Yeah, that's what
in
I said. The
implementing
challenge,
this?
sir, please, you want to continue the question?
Yeah, just I'm wondering, are there any challenges or the
Yes, sir.
threat of using IoT-based health monitoring system if some VIPs or VVIPs are monitoring their health?
Yes, sir.
The data must be kept in very secret condition, otherwise it may have its own repercussions.
Yes, sir. A very interesting question there.
Yeah.
Actually, I was going through this and I've included that in 2 of my slides. Actually,
Okay.
challenges are very much challenges. Like if you ask me to focus on only the VIP example you gave me,
Yeah.
the major threat is security. Like let us say a VIP is having insulin monitor, insulin pump implanted. You know, there was an interesting case. One hacker from New Zealand, I just don't remember his name. I was going through today. He tried to demonstrate in Las Vegas, Los Angeles. There was a conference about these kind of threats. He wanted to demonstrate. Actually, he was a big great hacker. He tried to demonstrate, and he successfully demonstrated the ATM attack. And he said these kind of health devices, IoT devices, are also prone to attacks. That example I would like to come back. If let us say VIP has
yeah, that is what I also read.
yeah, I'll complete it, sir.
Yeah.
I'll complete it.
Yeah.
That a person who has is been implanted with either insulin pump or pacemaker, it can be accessed. It can be hacked by a person who is well versed in hacking and ensure that the dosage of insulin can be increased without the knowledge of the patient. Or something like pacemaker activity can be disrupted. Thereby, you can easily, without even bringing to the getting caught, you can kill that person.
Yeah.
So, very unfortunate and interesting, shocking thing is that the person wanted to deliver a speech that day, demonstrate this, and he did suspiciously.
Yeah. Finally, Professor Nagesh,
Yes, sir.
are there any area in the IoT-based health monitoring system where some of the young researchers like you can pursue the research and improve upon the functioning of these devices?
Definitely, this IoT further can be, I mean, it's already there. Like lots of people who have come across, they have done research in artificial intelligence, the image processing, implementing the ANN, CNNs, and that kind of classifications, analysis. Definitely, it's a very open, wide-ended research people who are interested can take up. And more interesting is that it is more interdisciplinary.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor Nagesh.
Welcome,
That's all
sir.
from my end.
Thanks for your good questions.
Nagesh, thank you very much. Sir, with your permission, you are asking about any setup with respect to IoT related any labs. So there is one setup in diagnostic center in Bangalore, which is located in Indranagar. Its name is NURA, N-U-R-A. It's actually AI health screening diagnostic lab. So it's completely a different lab, sir. And the accuracy wise, with respect to the services provided, that particular lab uses both IoT as well as AI. So definitely, it's actually a very good facility which has come up in Bangalore. So definitely, we can all take the services from the lab, sir. Already, a lot of advertisement and information has been shared on the social media. So just you can have a look, sir. So in addition to this, any other questions from the audience? Yeah. So now actually, I will thank you very much, Nagesh, for your wonderful, informative session on IoT for healthcare systems. It was very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the whole setup, for providing me an opportunity to give a talk on this. And particularly, I wanted to keep this topic very common and not very technical, so that professors from various branches can understand. And more importantly, most of us are aged. We start using these kind of devices and get better health from it, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And we have a next speaker session from Dr. Jyoti TK regarding the best practices which has been practiced at her GEC Ramnagara. I think we have a question from So, Madam Jyoti, Madam. Hello.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You are welcome. We have Dr. Jyoti TK, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Government Engineering College, Ramnagara. She's presently, to briefly introduce her, she is presently working as Assistant Professor in the Civil Engineering Department at the Government Engineering College, Ramnagar. And she did her bachelor's degree in Civil Engineering from UBT College of Engineering, Davangere, and MTech from RV College of Engineering, Bangalore. And she has done his PhD from with you on development of geopolymer polyzana masonry units. I think she'll be more relevant to explain this as well. Title: Binders using tank bed soil and brick powder, which is on civil engineering topic. Under the guidance of Professor S. Raghunath and Professor R. V. Raghunath from BMS College of Engineering. Madam, I welcome you all on behalf of all the participants here. I request you
Thank
to
you.
take over the session and you can start your presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Sir, are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, you just make it full screen.
Sir, if I do slideshow, I doubt that slides may not move.
No,
Let
you
me
don't.
just.
You just first you share the
Okay.
screen, then you
Okay.
just open it and start from the beginning.
Yes, sir. Are you able to see the screen, sir?
Yeah, we are able to see the screen, but it's not in slideshow mode.
Sir, actually, I'm presenting in the slideshow mode only.
Madam, the same thing happened even for Nagesh. You please close it.
Okay.
Stop sharing first, and then you share the complete screen first. You go to
Share
screen.
entire screen.
Yeah, madam, you please guide her, madam.
Madam, please share entire screen. Last option. 3 tabs you have.
Entire screen. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
You just share that entire screen. Just click on that screen, then share. Then if you move to slideshow also, we'll be able to view it.
Now is it visible, madam?
Not at no. I think you have not shared
1 minute, ma'am.
entire screen. Then you should just click on that entire screen tab below. You have no. Then share button. Go to entire screen tab.
It is visible. My presentation is visible only in the window. If I select entire screen,
Just select that entire screen tab, then screen, then share. 3 things. Or else directly you share slideshow window, ma'am. If you are in slideshow mode, it will be visible in Windows. Window tab.
Yeah.
No. It's my screen, sir.
No, you did it. No, Nimdado.
Ma'am.
She's not doing it. You ask her to do it, just guide her. She did it in the first time. Otherwise, you take the PPT from her and we will do it. Can you share the PPT, madam?
yes, sir. I'll share the PPT.
You do it.
Sir, I have shared the PPT to you.
Yeah, one second. Madam, name ನೋಡಿ madam.
Yes, sir, got it.
ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಮೇಡಮ್? ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅದು? Yeah, increase that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir, shall I start?
Yeah, continue, madam.
A very good evening to one and all present here. I'm Dr. Jyoti. I'm going to give a presentation on innovative practices in academics and research at higher learning institutions. This is the outline of the presentation. Ma'am, can you go to the next slide? Yeah, this is the outline of the presentation, objectives, and what are all the practices we do at Government Engineering College, Ramnagar. Ma'am, can you please go to the next slide? Yeah. So what are all the objectives of innovative practices in academics and research? We all are aware of higher education institutions have many stakeholders. Typically, there are two types of stakeholders, that is internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. Who are all internal stakeholders? The college itself is an internal stakeholder, and the faculties, head of the institution, students, and management. In case of government engineering colleges, government itself is a management. So these are all these people all come under internal stakeholders, whereas external stakeholders are industry, parents, society, other institutions. They are the competitors for us. So especially these internal stakeholders play a crucial role in shaping the college activities, policies, and overall success. Their engagement and collaborations are essential for effective higher education management. These stakeholders can effectively make they can mold the students and achieve organization objectives. So to make it a better understanding, that is, what are the innovative practices one need to follow in order to achieve the organization objective, I have taken a case study. I have taken my own college, that is Government Engineering College, Ramnagar. What are the innovative practices we follow at Government Engineering College, Ramnagar? The GECR believes that a motivated workforce, that is both students and staff, can be a significant factor in achieving vision of the institute, leading to its success and visibility. When staff and students are motivated to work at higher levels of their skills and abilities, the institution as a whole becomes more vibrant, leading to efficient and more effective in achieving its objectives and goals. For this reason, the innovative practices being carried out in the campus so that it may have a very good positive impact and influence on students and staff behavior. Rewards and recognition are positive outcomes that are very much required for the overall development of the student. Moving on, next, what are all the innovative practices we follow at GECR? See, these are the innovative institutional practices. Student mentoring and support to slow learners, recognition of toppers and talented students, recognition of women teachers for their achievement, then NIRF and 360-degree feedback. We do have newsletters, in-house and expert lecture series, research forum to share research and consultancy activities, faculty semester work plan, institution innovation council, and industry institute interaction cell. We'll start with the student mentoring system. Each faculty in our institute has to take care of academic mentoring of around 4 students from each year. Students are provided with a proctor diary, which they have to maintain for all 4 years. One copy will be the proctor and the one with the students. So regular meetings with the proctor is a must, so that we can review their academic performance of the respective students. Their exam application forms, scholarship, and other required academic support advice has to be extended by the proctor. Slow and fast learners are supported and advised appropriately, classes and beyond the curricular learning. Counseling support is provided, as well as students are provided with the e-learning resources, and usage of e-content by the students are monitored on a regular basis by well supported by our librarian. Next, so this is a proctor diary sample that we follow at GECR. All the details of the student, his personal information, his academic details, his semester marks, and the proctor meetings that we conduct with the students, everything will be as a record. It will be kept in the proctor diary. So then what is the outcome of this student mentoring system? Being a teacher, it is very, very important for us to have empathy towards students. It is very important to understand their cognitive level, their emotional quotient, because many students, they'll be coming from the far off places, away from the parents. So they need the teacher-student interaction is very much required for emotional support. And once you have a good rapport with the students, you can easily manage the classroom, and it is very easy to provide instructional support to the students. So as a whole, what is the purpose of the student mentoring system is, outcome is students should benefit from that. Their cognitive level should improve, and their psychosocial behavior should improve, so that overall development of the student is very much required, and it is provided by student mentoring system. So that is the outcome of student mentoring system. Next, we have Institution Innovation Council at our Government Engineering College, Ramnagar. So this IIC is a unique initiative of Ministry of Education Innovation Cell, and it is different from other existing models. It aims at streamlining and strengthening the innovation and startup ecosystem in higher education institution campuses. All faculties and all the students can become member of IIC. I'm proud to say that our institute is the first government engineering college from Karnataka to have IIC cell. We are conducting activities from 2018. We are maintaining a 2-star rating for the activities and events which we are carrying out in our campus since the academic year 2018 to till date. So this is a certificate provided by IIC cell MOE, Ministry of Education, New Delhi. Then under IIC, you have they have a Yukti portal. Yukti portal is a innovative portal which encourages the students to apply for funding. The pre-final year students, second year students, as well as final year students, if they have a very good idea or a project which can be developed into a prototype model, they can apply through online mode through the Yukti portal. And if their idea is unique, if their idea is out of the box, if the idea is out of box, then their idea may be selected for funding. Many of our students have applied for this funding through Yukti portal. So these are all the IIC activities we carry at GECR, project exhibition, so that final year students, what are all innovative projects they do, they will have a project exhibition, so that for first year students, second year students, third year students, they'll get an exposure. And we conduct workshop on design thinking, then innovation, entrepreneurship, patent, So these are all the few activities that we had carried out at GEC Ramnagar, and we regularly conduct this activities throughout the year. And we got funding from IIC Cell for 3 consecutive years, that is 2020-21, 22-23, and 23-24. This main purpose of this impact lecture series is to educate students as well as staff about what are all opportunities available, about design thinking, about entrepreneurship, about startup, about patent. So what is the outcome of this Institution Innovation Council is once the students are out of the college, they should have a knowledge. Instead of working for someone, they can start their own startup. They can ask for angel funding, seed funding, so that they can achieve something instead of working for someone else. And next is recognition of toppers and talented students from each class. The students were always recognized there for their talent and are always rewarded to motivate them to enhance their performance. There are several clubs we have at the GECR, that is Science Club, Institution Innovation Club, Youth Red Cross Wing, NSS and Nature Club, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, Electro Literacy Club. We have received a state award, and students have won many cash prizes at district level competitions for creating awareness about voting. Cultural club, sports club, dance and music club, yoga club. Then in order to encourage students, usually we display posters of the students who have won the prizes as well as who are the toppers at the semester end exams, or the final year students who are the toppers at the college level. We make posters and we display it on the college, in the college entrance notice board, department notice board. The main purpose is to encourage them, to motivate them. So that is the main purpose of showcasing their talent and recognizing their contribution. So these are all the posters, winners at the various state level inter-college competition and academic toppers. So and what is the outcome of this? And our students have participated in a Hack for Sustainability event exclusively. This was conducted for government engineering colleges all over Karnataka, and our students won the first prize, and each student got an award of 2 lakh rupees, and it is a benefit for the students. So what is the outcome of this recognition of toppers and talented students from each class? Appreciating student is an essential part for their growth and development. It not only boosts their confidence but also motivates them to perform better. As educators, it is very, very important for us to recognize the efforts and achievements of our students, no matter how small or big it is. Moving on, next, research forum. We have research forum at Government Engineering College, Ramnagar. The main objective of this research forum is exchange views about a research scenario in the departments, across the departments, share updated research information knowledge amongst students and faculty by giving presentation in the research forum meet, which is held once in a month. The photograph of the presentation is in the next slide. Encourage prospective researchers to undertake research based on local relevance, well as the thrust areas in line with the state and national perspective. Encourage and mentor young researchers to formulate proposals for external funding, leading to possible patents, creating awareness on research ethics and quality. So this is a presentation of research work by one of our faculties in a research forum, which is held once in a month. Then what is the outcome of this research forum? Discussions and deliberations have led to improved quality transaction among faculty members and students in publishing their research work as a technical papers in reputed journals and conferences. Faculties were made to create Scopus ID, LinkedIn account for better networking amongst peer groups. Many faculties received funding for the research work from funding agency, namely VGST and other industries. Students also received funding for their project work from KSCST, and many faculties have also published quality patents. Next, ma'am. Okay, so next is a faculty semester work plan. It is very important to have a plan well ahead of a beginning of the semester. So what are all the subjects they are taking, whether they are planning to write a technical paper, and where they are planning to send the technical paper, whether it is for a national journal or international journal, whether planning to present a paper in a conference, national or international, or what are all co-curricular activities they are involved for the current semester. So this is a faculty semester work plan prepared by our head of the institution. So all the faculties will follow this, will do this faculty semester plan well in advance. So what is the outcome of this faculty semester plan? Faculty semester work plan is proposed to help a faculty member to plan well in advance about his or her semester work in an organized manner for effective implementation of various academic and research activities. Then we do have industry institution interaction cell at our campus. This industry institute interaction cell is working with the objective to provide industry exposure to staff and students, provide opportunity to all the staff and students for industrial training, as we are all aware that it is mandatory for even the staff to undergo industrial training, and this type of industry institute interaction cell help the students as well as the faculty. We have a collaboration with Toyota Center of Excellence to train our students in tune with the current industry required skill set. This center also facilitates students from nearby government polytechnics. Several MOUs are signed with the industry for said activities. Some of the important MOUs signed with the following industries. We have a MOU with the Quantum Learnings. We have a MOU with Christ University. It is a collaborating unit for research and incubation. eKida for online learning resources. QSpiders for placement and internship. GTTC, KGTTI, Bosch, Biddi, which is located in Biddi, and Kirloskar. Then it is very important to recognize the teachers, to motivate them, especially women teachers, for their achievement. We do that on Teachers' Day and Women's Day. Not only the in-house faculty, women faculty members, we also invite women achievers from the other field also, maybe in the medical field or in a, for that matter, any field, industry or law. So the main purpose is to motivate our girl students that they can also achieve, they can also become like one of them. So on Women's Day and Indigenous Day, the women faculties who have published technical papers in reputed conferences and journals, acquired doctoral degree, are felicitated, as well as women achievers from other fields who have done remarkable achievements are invited and felicitated. Then we do have vibrant clubs at GECR like NSS, Nature Club, Youth Red Cross Wing, Song and Dance Club, Sports and Cultural Club, Electoral Club, and the list goes on. So these are all the few activities that we carry out to encourage our students to participate in these activities. Not only academic, these extracurricular activities also very, very important for their cognitive quotient and emotional quotient. So these are a few photographs of Clean Drive, Yoga Day celebration, NSS Day and Environmental Day celebrations, Voter Day celebration, and our students also visit nearby villages as a community service. They clean the area, they educate the people, and this is the blood donation camp organized by Youth Red Cross Wing. Then the National Science Day celebrations at GECR. And these are the, we also carry out once in a year cultural fest, Kalarava, for our students. These are all the few glimpses, and our sports club is very, very active. Our students have got national level prizes as well as state level prizes. One of our students was a national level marathon winner, Rangnath. He has finished his course last year. In addition to that, whatever we do, it is very important to document it. And it is very important for NBA accreditation also. So at all the 4 departments, we have a department newsletter that we publish once in 6 months. So whatever the information regarding curricular, co-curricular, research activities and opportunities available for the students through various clubs. Each department of GECR, they publish newsletters at least once in 6 months. So newsletter is very important document, as we all aware, for NB accreditation. The following were the newsletters of various departments. Department of Civil Engineering, it is named as CE Suddhi. Department of Smart Manufacturing and Engineering, Smart Mech News. Department of Electronics and Communication, Vidyunmana. Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Bytes and Beyond. This is a few screenshots of the newsletters of Department of Civil Engineering, then Mechanical, that is Smart Manufacturing, then Electronics and Communication Department newsletter. Then this is Computer Science Department newsletter, Bytes and Beyond. And once in a year, we also publish college news magazine. We call it as Vibes of GECR. It is published once in a year. So this is a college magazine of 2023, 2024 magazine is it is on its way. We have implemented AICT 360-degree feedback. The AICT's proposed 360-degree evaluation for faculty is a multi-source feedback instrument that evaluates teachers in 4 areas: teaching, institutional service, self-appraisal, and contribution to the society. 360-degree feedback is intended to support for the self-improvement by highlighting particular behaviors and relative strength and shortcomings that are improvable or expandable. At GCR, we have implemented this type of evaluation mechanism for the first time. It's important to comprehend how faculty members who will be evaluated see the characteristics and weights that the AICT has provided. We have college level coordinator as well as department level coordinator to carry out AICT feedback. Then we do participate in a national institutional ranking framework. We have not got rank, but we are participating regularly since 2019. It was established in the year 2015, but we are participating so that we get to know like what are the parameters and what are the lacunas that we need to fill the gap. What are the gaps that we need to fill? So that is teaching and learning resources, research and professional practices, graduation outcome, outreach and inclusivity, and perception. We also organize in-house and expert lecture series. Whoever faculties who go on deputation to attend some FPP or conference, after coming back, they have to give presentation so that they can share their knowledge, whatever they have learned, to the students as well as to their fellow faculty members, so that this type of exchange of information, exchange of knowledge will enhance the overall development of the intellectual level of both faculty as well as students. So these are the few glimpses of in-house and expert lecture series. So as a whole, what is the purpose of this innovative practices at higher education institutions? The main objective of these practices, since I had taken a case study of GCR, it is for continuous improvement in the quality of education and innovative ways to educate students through various academic and non-academic activities, which we are striving hard to achieve and we will achieve. We engage students in research practices, including the ability to argue from evidence. They aim to generate novel information with an emphasis on research and innovation, or to determine whether recent preliminary results can be replicated. The student focus on significant relevant problems of interest to, and in some cases, a broader community. It should help the community. They emphasize and learn working in a collaborative and teamwork. We guide students, engage in reflection about problems being investigated and the work being undertaken to address these problems. So with this, I end my presentation with a quote: alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. So it is a team effort. Whatever we have done at GCR, it is a team effort of all the faculty members and well supported by head of the institution. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, madam. Is there any questions from participants? If you have any questions, you can just ask. It was a very nice presentation on best practices. I think most of the points which are covered by you will cover to the NBA requirement as per the NBA requirements. I think other colleges can also follow these practices and adopt themselves in their institutions. Thank you very much, madam, for your presentation and efforts.
Thank you, sir. I
Yeah.
thank Dr. Basvaraj sir and all the DT faculty team of DT for giving me an opportunity to share my views about innovative practices at our Government Engineering College, Ramnagar. Thank you very much, sir.
So slowly now all the engineering colleges, especially government engineering colleges, if they adopt these practices in their institutions meticulously, because I think we are all aware of the initiatives by our Honorable Principal Secretary. There are a lot of things have been planned. It has been already planned, pipelined and planned. So shortly it will be brought to the notice of all the colleges. One such initiative is IPSL establishment. So in this regard, I think.
Sandbox ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ sir.
Sorry, yeah, no, I think his main actually is not a question. It will be helpful to all the faculty members of GEC if GEC Ramnagar organizes a exclusive session to impart knowledge on smart cookies with respect to 360 feedback. So I think to reply to Raghu Kambaya, definitely I will just we can discuss with our principal, and then we can request for a session on ACT 360 feedback. And most of the colleges they already got the certification, and they have done themselves. And GEC Asan and GEC Maslasali and the other engineering colleges staff members already they are successful in getting their certification. And if required, definitely this can be planned. Anyway, just we'll discuss with the principal of Ramnagar, GEC Ramnagar. So with respect to that, with respect to that practices, definitely our government engineering colleges can set an example to other colleges. So now I thank Dr. Jyoti TK for a wonderful presentation. Then we'll just pass on to the next session from industry personnel. Mr. Girish Nayak, he'll be talking on software assurance, quality assurance for software projects. Girish Nayak, are you there? Hello? Hello? Hello, Girish Nayak?
Yeah, you are able to hear me?
Yeah. Thank you. I was just about to call you. Thank you very much, Girish Nayak, for joining us. Let me introduce briefly. He's actually having a vast experience in the industry. He is heading the quality team. And has been working in Wipro itself from past. He is heading the software quality assurance team in Wipro, and he's also a subject matter expert in CMMI, ISO standards, and Six Sigma and Lean standards. For this and I request you to please share your knowledge among all the staff members and students. Thank you very much once again. I just over to you, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Basraj, for this opportunity. Hi, good evening, everybody. I think let us try to understand the quality assurance process in software projects. So before that, I think we need to understand what kind of projects we get in the industry, right? So that's, can you please move to the next slide? So when it comes to different project types in the industry, we have a different project types, what we get as a proposals, right? So we call it as a request for proposal, different opportunities from different vendors. So when we try to understand what kind of projects we get in the industry, we start with the typical application development engagements, where you all know we start with the requirement and then design, then implementation, which is coding and unit testing, then integration testing, then user acceptance testing, the typical activities which happens in the development engagements. So in the development engagement, again, if you try to understand the software lifecycle, there are different life cycles. You see there waterfall models, which is a good old model where we see sequential steps of whatever just now I explained. That is a requirement. Once you complete the requirement, then you start the design like that, right? The sequential steps what we follow in waterfall. Then again, when you come to the iterative model, where the requirements are cut down into multiple iterations or waves. So these waves, basically the parallel running engagements, so that we have the bunch of requirements which are getting completed in a parallel manner. So that is another thing what we call iterative model. Then another one we call it as V process model. V process model is where we have development happens, some of the testing which happens parallelly. That means you complete the requirement. So when you complete the requirement, you start on writing the system integration test plan parallelly, right? Because your requirements are clear, so you can directly get into the system integration test plan design. So then when you complete the design, then you can start writing your unit test plan parallelly, right? Like that, some of the testing activities, mainly on the test plan activity, happens parallelly with the initial phases like a requirement design and all that. So that way, everything is not sequential and you save a time, right? So these are the typical life cycle you see the development engagements. And when it comes to the maintenance, then you have typical bug fixing, then enhancement kind of engagements, right? That also you will see in the industry. Then you have a testing. Basically, you receive only a testing project where already development is completed, and the customer is giving the testing project to the vendor. So what is activity involved there? So you have to design the test cases, and then you have to execute the test cases. That kind of activity will come there. Then something called agile. You might have heard this. This is what picking up nowadays. So most of the engagements which are in a different life cycle are moving to agile. So agile, what happens? Basically, there is a bigger requirement which are cut down into the smaller requirement, which we call it as user stories. Then user stories are planned for implementation, planned for continuous building. That means you will have the small requirement getting completed, getting demoed to customer, then getting moved to the production, right? So that is what we see in the agile kind of engagements. Then comes the managed services. So what do you mean by managed services? So managed services engagements are something ticket based engagements. I think you might have seen in your Airtel network, if there are some call is not going through, there is a problem, then you call the customer care center, then you raise a ticket, right? So my call is not very clear. So what needs to be done? So they will analyze and then they will fix it. Some workaround they will do, correct? So it is basically you raise a ticket and ticket is getting resolved on the SLA, right? Service level agreement. So they will have some service level agreements like, okay, the ticket needs to be resolved in a day or two kind of thing, right? That is what is agreed SLAs. So that's what they will take care. So this is typically what we call managed services engagements, right? So then comes package implementation. So you will be knowing Oracle, SAP, Sybase, multiple package kind of thing where you exactly don't code like a C, C++, Java, but you will configure basically, right? There will be a front end where different user interface you will configure, and then you will build the system which may be used for CRM or some other applications, right? So typically configuration and reuse of some of the screens and database which is getting developed there, right? Which we call it as package implementation. So then break fix maintenance also we get. Break fix maintenance is typically, you might have seen the water filter kind of thing, right? You raise a helpline ticket, they will come to your house, they may replace some parts, and then they will fix it and they will resolve the ticket. This is another kind of engagements, right? So these are the typical life cycle what we see in the software industry, right? So if you take a different life cycle, there are different checks. I think first let us understand the holistic view of a life cycle of a project. So can you go to the next slide? Yeah, thank you. So let us try to understand the life cycle of a project, right? So it will start with the RFP, what we call a request for proposal, right? The quality assurance start at this phase itself. So when we receive a request for proposal from customer, so customer mentions, I need this kind of support from you. So maybe he will tell, I need a development of a network card which should support me this much speed, and which should also have inside it, like that. So they will tell, so what needs to be there, right? So yeah, I'm Basraj, you are able to hear me, right?
Yeah. Continue, please. You're
Okay.
audible.
Yeah. So when you receive the request for proposal, so we understand basically what is the requirement from the customer. Then we try to answer the questions asked in that request for proposal. So while doing that, we do the solutioning part, right? So as I told, depending on the requirement, so we do estimation. So when you receive a project basically, so you do a estimation and see how much the person month effort is required. The person month effort means like one person is 1 month effort, like that how much effort is required, that's what we estimate. So the estimation again depends on what kind of project you are estimating. If it is a ticket based, then you will analyze what is the inflow of the tickets. And if it is a development engagement, then if it is a C or C++ kind of development project, then what is the lines of code maybe output from the engagement. These kind of things we will analyze, and depending on the productivity of the team, right? So you will come up with a rough estimate, okay, this much effort is required to complete the project, and this much cost is required to complete the project, something like that. Then that will be reviewed critically by the subject matter experts, and then all that comments will be fixed and updated in the RFP, and it's sent back to the customer. Then depending on the cost details, negotiations happens next step. And once the negotiation happens, then there is a something called contract, right? So in the contract, it will be clearly mentioned what all the deliverables expected from the vendor to the customer, and what all the timelines you agreed with the customer, what all the SLAs, service level agreement, you agree with the customer, all that will be updated. And this again will be critically reviewed by different teams, including legal, finance, quality, and all these things, right? So once the order is received, that's a legal document, which is, we call it as contract or a statement of work. So then the project starts, right? The next phase is start of the engagement. So in the industry, we call it as start green. So when engagement starts, if it start without any problem, then assumption is it continues with a good shape in the next phase, right? So what we do there, basically, we start with proper team structure, right? So if your team is competent enough to deliver the project, then your half the problem will be solved at the starting itself. So we make sure the critical team is like placed there or resource there at the starting of the project itself. And also there is a handover happens between the sales team and the delivery team, because till now, whatever I told the phases, the sales team is involved, and the estimation, cost, and schedule, everything, right? So sales team involved. Then in the sales to delivery handover, all these updated, basically um, yeah, all these things are updated to the delivery, so that delivery can take it forward, right? That's the understanding. So then there is a kickoff meeting happens where this handover happens, basically, right? So then the project will be onboarded into the system, and project structure get created. So project structure will involve project manager, delivery manager, then account delivery head, and different structure. Then there comes the next one, which is life cycle selection. I think previous thing I covered what you mean by life cycle. It can be a development engagement, it can be a managed services engagement, it can be a managed testing engagement, which can be agile engagement. Selecting a proper life cycle is very critical in the quality assurance, because depending on which life cycle you select at this phase, your different checks and different plans and different metrics which get enabled. Just to give an example, if I select a development engagement, then you will have a schedule deviation, effort deviation, defects density, and post delivery defects. These kind of metrics may get enabled. And if it is a maintenance engagement, then how much defects are slipped in your engagement, how many defects are rejected from your engagement, these kind of metric may get enabled, right? So depending on the life cycle, different metrics get enabled. This is very, very critical phase of the life cycle, right? The next comes the planning. Planning is a very important phase of a life cycle, where you do planning of a schedule, right? So what should be my schedule? What is the start date, end date for each phase? For example, requirement, design, all that will be there. So what is my start date? What is my end date? So all that I will plan in the schedule, right? And what is the effort involved, right? That also will be there in my schedule and effort planning, right? Then I will have a cost planning. Then I will have a communication planning. So who will be my stakeholder? How much, what is the every week the status report needs to be sent to who all stakeholders, right? The monthly report needs to go, right? What all needs to be there in the monthly report, right? So what kind of touch base with my leadership team, right? What is my metrics, right? What is my target? So all these things I will update in my plan, and these plan will be baselined and approved by required stakeholders, for example, delivery manager as well as customer, right? So then, so after the planning, you will have a monitoring and control, right? So in the monitoring control, you completed your plan, right? So your plan, basically, you need to check whether you are according to the plan, correct? So basically, you have schedule, you agreed that, so I'll be on time. My schedule deviation should be 0, right? So I need to check every month whether I'm according to the plan, right? Whether I'm missing any schedule, right? Whether is there any gap in my understanding, whether I'm not according to schedule. I will do a root cause analysis using the required methods. We have some standard methods called 5Y method and fishbone method kind of thing. I will do a RCA, root cause analysis. I will come up with the corrective actions and preventive actions, the critical part in the software assurance process, right? So I will fix that so that in the next coming week, next coming month, I am in a good shape on those metrics. Each metrics, whatever I told previously, which will be reviewed, then analyzed. If I'm not doing good on that metric, it will be fixed, right? And also we analyze the risk regularly, right? What is the risk in the project? For example, if somebody is leaving in the project, right? So what is the risk is there in the project? How to get a new person and get the transition from him, right? So all these things we will analyze and fix the problem so that all these things are taken care and my critical metrics not affected. I'm able to deliver required work product, right? This is what is required there actually. Then comes the product and process quality assurance. So first one, product quality assurance, where the critical review happens from technical perspective, right? See, just to give an example, if I take a design document, right? So I have a design phase, a design document. The subject matter expert review the design document and see whether design is done properly or not, right? So this is what I do. So for example, if it is a testing phase, so my work product is their test plan, right? So subject matter expert review the test plan, whether it covers all the requirement so that I have not missed any requirement, right? So this, the review happens very critically and all the review comments will be fixed before going to the next phase, right? How you make sure these things are fixed? We call something like gating, right? For each phase, there is a gating review happens and we make sure, are we ready to go to the next phase? Is this product ready for the delivery to the customer, right? If it is not ready, right, there are glaring problems, which is very visible and we can't deliver that without fixing that problem. We make that as no go. You can't deliver to the customer unless you fix the problem, right? So that's what we do in the gating. Then that problem will be fixed, then it will be delivered to customer. So this is how the quality assurance takes care, right? So this we call it as product assurance. The other one is called process assurance. So what is this process assurance? We agreed on different certifications, for example, CMMI, ISO. So it calls a different expectation or different process. For example, planning has to be done, right? Monitoring control has to be done. Then governance has to be done, right? Then configuration management has to be done. So like that, there are set of expectations. So all that will be checked in the audits. These audits are done by the certified auditors. So this, once they do the audit, they will log the non-compliance against that project. Then that for the non-compliance, there is a RCA done. Then the problem will be fixed with the corrective action and preventive action. Then the project will continue, right? So basically, this audits will be happening very periodically, so that the problems are unearthed and fixed, so which should not affect the customer satisfaction, right? That's what we do. Then comes the governance. So what is this governance? Governance is nothing but review from the leadership team. So we are all talking about till now the project manager, quality manager, and delivery managers. Now comes the account delivery head and the next level, right? So those guys will clearly tell what is the expectation from the different metrics, and they will review in the monthly review asking, okay, what have you done in the last month? How are we performing on different parameter like schedule, effort, then cost, then your SLA? All these things will be reviewed by the leadership team, and they will give you actions so that you can correct and come back to the proper shape, right? So this is what we call governance, right? Then the last one, so basically when you are closing the project, so you also take the customer satisfaction feedback from the customer so that you implement that required actions. So is there any concern from the customer? You will fix it in the upcoming project. So you make sure customer is happy and the business continues, right? So that's what expected in the feedback and closure. And also in the closure, you will also update the required knowledge. Like for example, you might have learned some managerial lessons, so you might have recruited very costly resource. He might have not delivered what is according to your expectations, right? Instead of that, you can recruit 2 or 3 resources. From them you might have got the things done. So something like that you might have learned as a manager, lessons learned. And there is something called technical lessons learned. So you might have designed something, but later you may be thinking, I could have analyzed alternative design methods and then analyze what is the best method, and I might have gone for that, right? Something like that, technical lessons learned, and what all the continuous improvement done in the project, right? All these things you will capture while closing the project, which will be very beneficial for the organization for the other projects, right? So this is what is done in the closure phase. So all these things you will take care. Additional to that, what you will do in the project, when the code review happens, when the design review happens, when the test plan review happens, so periodically you check how effective is the review. For example, if I take an example of a code review, so when you analyze maybe last 3 months data, so if you are getting majority of the review defects as code review defects, cosmetic defects, right? So all comments, cosmetic comments, right? Then there is some problem where review is not that effective, and we may have to re-review, right, with the proper subject matter expert. That's what it tells, right? The similar way design review also, right? So these kind of analysis also you need to do just to check whether the review, whatever is happening, is effective. The testing, whatever is happening, is effective, right? The analysis of the defect type, analysis of the defect number, analysis of how critical defects you are finding in the different verification and validation techniques, right? I think these are the things, if you take care, your project will be in a good shape and the quality product goes to customer, right? And customer success is basically our success. That's where it is. If the customer grows, the company grows. That's where it is. So these all things we need to take care in the software quality assurance for the software projects. This is what I wanted to cover. Any doubts, you can go ahead and ask.
Yeah, thank you, Girish Naik, for your
Yeah, thank you.
informative talk. Let me just find out if there are any questions from participants. Any questions from audience, participants? Yeah, I think there are no questions. Thank you very much, Girish Naik. You have taken your time and you extensively explained the the quality assurance life cycle in software industry, and it was very much useful for all of the staff members. And I thank on behalf of our principal secretary and all the officials of DTE and principals of government engineering colleges and staff members and students. I wholeheartedly thank you for being with us and sharing your knowledge after 25 years in Wipro. So thank you very much for your time once again.
Thanks a lot. Basaraj. Thank you all. Thank you all. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Now we have next speaker, the last session, Dr. Ravi Kumar. Hello.
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Yeah, please switch on your video. Yeah. Yeah. You have slides, right?
Yes, sir.
Today we have the last session, a very interesting session on generative AI. I think you might have already come across so many AI tools. So AI tools are actually completely useful in various tasks or activities, either in industry or in any organizations. So to just give more insights among those generative AIs, today we have Dr. Ravi Kumar GK, the principal of BGS College of Engineering and Technology, Mahalakshmipuram, Bangalore. So he is actually, to introduce briefly, Dr. Ravi Kumar is an alumni of NITK Surathkal of 1998 batch MTech, and he has done his bachelor's degree from Siddharth University of Technology, Tumkur, and currently is working as a principal of BGS IT, and he has got totally 25 years of experience, out of which he has got 10 years of experience in industry, and already has got broad experience, and he was instrumental in handling many projects at USA, and he has filed 20 patents, and 5 have been granted to him, and he has guided around 16 PhD students, and he has published 70 papers in national and international journal conferences, and he has published 1 textbook and 5 book chapters, and he is actually a reviewer of 5 international journals. So great to have you, sir, on this board with all our staff members. Now I request you to share your experience on teaching in teaching as well as in industry. Please, sir, it's your time. Please,
Yes.
Take over. Please, sir, you need to just make your full slide. It's just.
Yes, sir. Is my screen is visible to you, sir?
It's visible to me, but it's not in full screen mode.
It's not
You
in
need
full
to-
screen.
Yeah, you need to share the complete screen, then you have to make. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Now, sir.
No, I think you're not shared full screen.
1 second, sir. I'll go
Let's
back.
try. Yeah, please.
Entire screen.
Yeah.
Now, sir.
Not yet. One second. All right. Yeah, now it's clear. Perfect.
Now it's
Okay,
okay.
please proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. T.G. Basaraj. And Jai Shri Gurudev. By submitting my humble pranams to Parama Puja Jagadguru, Dr. Shri Bala Gangadhar Mahaswamiji, and seeking the blessings of humble devout pranams to Lotus Feet of His Holiness Parama Puja Jagadguru Shri Dr. Nirmala Mahaswamiji, and seeking the blessings of all Puja Swamis of Mat. I, Dr. Ravi Kumar, Principal of BGS Engineering College, Mahalakshmipuram. Today I will take you through the glimpse of a generative AI, how it works, and what is a generative AI, and where it comes, what are the different models and challenges in implementing it very briefly. So let me take you to the first slide. What is generative AI? We all know what is generative AI. See, before getting into a generative AI, first of all, we must know AI. AI, we all know, AI is an artificial intelligence. It is a broad sense, is an intelligence exhibited by machines, particularly in a computer system. So in the field of research and computer science, it develops studies, methods, software that enables the machines, and very well. So by knowing the artificial intelligence definition, so let me take you through what is generative AI. We all know generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence. It's a subset of artificial intelligence that focuses mainly on creating a new content of the existing data. The subset of a machine learning using drawing from techniques like deep learning and reinforcement learning. Generative output mainly takes with the images, text and music, video, and many more. So this is some brief definition of generative AI. Generative artificial intelligence includes the model can generate new content such as image, music, text. And the best example nowadays, everybody is using ChatGPT. We all know how ChatGPT works. You just go to ChatGPT and search for something. For example, if you want to know a solution for a quadratic equation, earlier you used to write a 3, 4 pages of code. Now generative AI will generate the very minimal line of codes with the effective by considering all other parameters like space complexity or time complexity or whatever it usability, readability, and all those things. We can generate whatever you want. Even students nowadays, for the mini project also, if you have a title and the scope of work, the generative AI is helping the students to come up with a detailed project report in a fraction of minutes or days. Earlier you used to take 3 to 4 weeks or 5 weeks. Now we're using a generative AI techniques. We can generate the same thing in a day. So that's how generative AI is helping all of us. So we all know generative AI was introduced in 1960 in a chatbots, and many of us know chatbots. See, now when you enter into any of the website, when you, for example, if you enter into a college or enter into some industry thing, normally what will ask is, it will always chatbot will come. It will ask you to, may I help you? How can I help you? What is the information we need? All those things. So generative AI is helping nowadays most of us it is simplifying our life. So generative AI is a subset of artificial intelligence and capable of generating text and image as I discussed. And it involves lot of improvements in the transfer based on the neural networks and particularly large language models enabled in AI booms. So generative AI systems or generative are bloom. It's earlier, it was not there till 2014. So just the idea is just started blooming in 2015 with introduce the chatbots such as ChatGPT, Kiploid, Gemini, LLMA, text to image, artificial intelligence image generation systems such as Stable Diffusion, kind of DAL-E, text to video generator. So all these things are generative models have introduced and it is generated. So how generative AI works? We all know artificial intelligence definition, how it will mimic the system, will make the system to work as the human intelligence and all those things. So by quoting an example of an artificial intelligence, I will try to quote one example here. I request all the professors and teachers to quote the same example in the class when the students ask for the first class for AI. So I will tell you one short story of AI when my professor was introduced, explained me when I was doing my MTech. So when there is a grandpa and a kid was walking in the road, the kid was asked the grandpa, there was a dog was there in the road. Kid just asked, grandpa, what is that? Kid said, grandpa said, yes, it is a dog of white color. Then they moved to another further 100 meter or maybe 150 meter. Again, one more dog was there, black colored dog. Same question the kid asked to his grandpa. Then grandpa explained, yes, Puta, this is also a dog and it is of black color. See, then they proceed, they're walking till further another 100 meter or 200 meter. Then they saw one more dog, it's of brown color. Automatically that time, kid didn't ask anything to his grandpa. It has informed, it has mentioned his dog, mentioned his grandpa, saying that grandpa, it's a dog of brown color, is it not? Then grandpa was surprised. So what is this actually? So this is called an intelligence. How the kids has taken the image of the first and second instance and converts into a processed and generated and expressed and mimicked the third image as similar to a dog with a different color. So this phenomena is called as an artificial intelligence. So nowadays we are mimicking the system to behave by taking the previous data, history of data, and creating a new engine by doing a deep learning or all reinforcing learning, all those things. So this, by taking this as a basic example, the artificial intelligence one can explain, and the artificial intelligence developed based on that. So let's get back to the topic. How does the generative AI work? We all know generative AI works on the 5 phases. One is training, pre-processing, model architecture, training the model, and generating the new content. So what do you mean by this training? Training is just first what it will do is it will train the example which I have given just now. Whatever the images it takes, whatever the data set it wants to enable, all those things will be taken first into his memory from the previous data history. Then it will start pre-processing. Means what? It subset the data and it creates the image and everything. Then applied into a model architecture. It compares the previous one and present one, future one. And after comparing that, it creates the model and the new content will generate. So these 5 stages, the generative AI will work. Generative AI model can take inputs such as text. It can take text, image, audio, video, and code, even code, and to generate a new content into any of the modalities mentioned. For example, it can turn into a text into an image, turn into an image into a song, or turn into a video into a text. See the beauty of generative AI. It can turn into one type of media of data into another media of data, either turn into a text into an image, image into a text, turn into image into a song, or turn some video into a text. So that's the beauty of generative AI. So generative AI models are generally, as I told you in the previous slide, most frequently generative use models are DALL-E 2, ChatGPT, Deep Dream, and Midjourney. So most of us are using ChatGPT to make more our life simpler, to generate the required data using generative AI. So let me take you through what are the use cases of generative AI one can support. So generative AI, it is implemented in the chatbots. We all know what is chatbots. The moment you enter into any website, it asks, how may I help you? Do you need, what is, if you type, for example, I'm looking for a BE computer science seat in your college, what is the fees? Then automatically the content will be retrieved from the database and displayed. Who is the best teacher in your college? Automatically, you have to feed all the things and model will be trained and displayed. So like this chatbot of the customer service and technical supports. This is the one of the use case. And the next use case is deploying the deep fakes and mimicking the people, even specific individuals. It can nowadays, right, deep fake and mimic most of the images can be mimicked and created that videos and published. So next thing is improving the dubbing of the movies for education and content in the different languages. This is the one of the wide use cases for generative AI. It is helping, for example, if the professor is good in Kannada, he may not be in the other languages. The generative AI is helping dubbing the same thing and creating into a new content of the regional language, the one which it is required, regional or any other language. You can localize using the generative. This is also one of the best use case for the generative AI. So another use case for the generative AI is writing an email response, dating profiles, resumes in terms of papers. See, nowadays, what will happen is, earlier you used to write, when you receive any email, you used to write, okay, thanks, I'll let you know, kind of thing, whatever you are professionally you want to reply, you have to keep on typing and writing. Now, using generative AI, you can have a response. You can have a response of that particular email. For example, if some professors or some higher authorities have requested some information from your end, generative AI automatically, if you go for reply to that email, it generates an email. Only thing is you have to review and rephrase in case if you want anything. Similarly, dating profile. Similarly, you can create it. You can give some inputs to a resume so that it will create a complete resume subset and it will help us. So similarly, we can create a term papers. For example, if you have a question paper to be set for various complexity, we can use AI technique. In addition to that, we can go for a generative AI. Till you can generate or create or produce a good amount of paper with a complexity level from minimum to higher to minimum, something like that. All these things are use cases for the generative AI. Next use case is creating a photorealistic in a particular style. You can have a photorealistic art in a particular style. For example, if you have some image of some particular place or a animal or some person, you can have, using a generative way, you can create the style, whatever the style you want. And also next is improving the product demonstration videos. For example, if you have some product, mobile phone or a book or some ornamental or whatever it is, using generative AI, we can have its future to be reached to a customer in a very professional manner, in a beautiful manner, so that we can use it for the particular advertising or whatever it is. Next, suggesting a new drug for a compound to test. For example, if you have a compound, various type of drug test is going on. So if you are reaching some extent, you may not be knowing which drug will add to that to reach some more kind of test to achieve some result. For some results, generative AI is helping that physicians or doctors to come up with a new drug component with the existing one, with and without modification of little combination with various components of a drug test. And the next AI, use case is designing a physical product of a product and a building. Nowadays, looking at a computer itself, you can build a building, and generative AI will help you to have a complete building, including infrastructure, including interior, decoration. All those things can be done by using generative AI, depending upon your taste and depending upon your requirement. So next, coming to electronics, you can have a chip design and all those things. Next, you can have a writing a music in a specific style or a tone. Nowadays, you know, right, earlier when song recording used to go, they used to go to the studio and they have to sing whatever the musician will tell, all those things. Nowadays, it is all those things are taken up by the generative AI. Just one song can be sung in one style, and that can go with a different types of tone and rhythm and all those things. These are all some use cases for generative AI one can use in various applications. If what I want to mention, one of the best way of generative AI is acting horizontally for all our work life in the verticals. If you go to medicine, yes. If you go to drug, yes. If you go to advertisement, civil engineering, mechanical and electronics, electrical, or any other product design, wherever you go, generative AI is helping us, and our life is making more simpler and more effective and efficient in delivering the customer requirement. These are all some use cases one can think of the generative AI. What are the use cases you can apply? So what are the benefits of generative AI? So there are, lot of benefits are there, and so benefits, let me list out some general benefits. Automating the manual process of writing content. As I told you in the previous slide, writing an email, replying an email. You can have automated content, automated reply to email, automated, earlier on manual, you don't need to write complete thing. You can have automated emails, reducing the effort of responding an email, time consuming, improving the response to specific technical queries, and creating a realistic representation of a people. This is very important. Creating a realistic representation of a people. Earlier when the true caller, when the toll-free number comes, they used to answer, person has to sit and answer all those questions, and then no, it is not like nowadays. Using generative AI, you can have a realistic for people how they will reply in the call. Similarly, we can have the same kind of reply, same kind of present using the generative AI. This is one of the best example for best advantage and benefit of generative AI. And summarizing the complex information into a coherent narrative, and simplifying the process of creating the content of a particular type. Whatever the use case I have created, almost use cases one or other way is the beneficial for the generative AIs. So there are, where there is an advantages, where there is a scope, and where there will be definitely a limitations of generative AIs. So limitations. Let me take you through one or two limitations of generative AI. So generative AI, it does not always identify the source of the content. That is very important. It will not take the much source where it comes, how it comes. No, it takes the entire set of data and it will pick the subset of the data and it presents. And it can be a challenging access to bias of original sources. That is very important. The breach of security, breach of originality, breach of genuinity, novelty will be lost when you are working with generative AI. Realistic sounding content makes it harder to identify the inaccurate. Sometimes if you are unable to provide what you are exactly looking, and you will end up with getting the wrong result from the generative AI. That one must have a very good thorough knowledge, what kind of question to ask, what kind of information you want to have, what kind of information you are looking at from the generative AI. If you do not have a proper problem statement or proper use cases, you will be end up with getting a inaccurate information, and that will lead to the failure of the system that will lead to the failure of the function or a product or whatever it is. The next limitation is it can be difficult to understand how tuned to new circumstances. Sometimes you will say that just like that we'll ask some music system from one tone to another, product from one tone to text or whatever it is. Generative AI will be difficult to understand the tune of the new circumstances where it has been addressed and looking for. And the last limitations are many more are there. I have listed some 1 or 2 here. So the results can gloss over bias, prejudice, and hatred. Okay, these are some limitations of generative AI one can think of. So what are the concerns surrounding the generative AI? So definitely one must have some concerns of the generative AI. It can provide an inaccurate and misleading information. It is correct. It can provide inaccurate, misleading concerns. For example, what kind of concern have if you don't give a proper, if you don't know what to ask, when to ask, and how to ask, and what are the information you're looking, then definitely you have inaccurate information or misleading information. It's a more difficult to trust without knowing the source of provenance of information. That is also there. If you don't have a proper information from where it is come, how it is come, then you have some doubtful. It can also promote a new kinds of plagiarism that ignores the right of content creator, artists of original content. This is one of the major drawback and concerns of all the researcher, whoever it is, in the plagiarism. It might disturb the existing business model built around the search engine optimization, advertising. It is also one of the concern. It make easier to generate a fake news. This is the one of the concern. Nowadays, you know, right, something is happened, the TV and media will produce lot of surrounding news. Either it may be, they will not even verify, they will not even go for authenticity of the news. They will just let it go and get the information and generate the information using generative AI, and just they will keep on flash news as a big news, breaking news, and all those things. This is the one of the concern of the generative AI. It makes easier to claim that real photographic evidence or a wrongdoing was just an AI generated fake. It could be impersonate people for more effective social engineer, cyber attacks, and all those things. These are all some concerns about the generative AI. Now, what are some examples of generative tools? Text generation tools including ChatGPT, Jasper, AI, Writer, and Lex. So these are some text generative tools, and image generation tools are Delhi E2 and Midjourney and Stable Diffusion. And music generation tools are Ampere, Data Boards, and Musnet. Coordinate tools are CodeStarter, Codex, GitHub, Deployed, and Tab9. So voice synthesis tools are include Descript, Linstar, and Broadcast AI. And AI chip design tool companies include Synopsys, Cadence, Google, and NVIDIA. See, these are all some examples of generative AI tools. See, look at this. Wherever, whatever the field you take, whatever, either it may be a text generation or image generation or music generation or code generation or voice synthesis tool, all these are the separate tools to talk about this. So this is the beauty of generative AI. What I want to stress once again is generative AI act horizontally across all the verticals of our life in nowadays. So what are some of the use cases for generative? The one use cases which I explained in the previous slides are general use cases. Now let me take you to some industry use cases, how the industry use cases will be. Finance can watch transaction content individuals, history of the build better fraud detection system. This is one of the best usage of generative AI. When you have a banking sector, security sector, BFSI, when you're working with the securities, when I was working in an industry where I was using for a security project, where I was working as a data scientist for security project, we used to have a lot of frauds. So to detect a lot of fraud detections, we used to generate some set of codes, some set of models to predict by using generative AI. It was helping us in a very big way to identify the fraud detection. And legal firm can use the generative AI design to interrupt the contract, analyze evidence, suggest arguments, or whatever it is. Legally, what kind of contracts they will analyze, what kind of evidence, what kind of arguments, and all those things. Next, when you go to manufacturing, what kind of manufacturing you will do, data from the cameras, X-ray from other matrices, identify the defective parts, root cause, and accurately and economically. So this manufacturing is one of the best way of using the AI generative. AI generative manufacturing industry, especially to identify the defects in the system. Coming to film and media companies can use generative AI to produce the content more economically and translate it into other languages across and more voices. So film and even media film, you can have using a generative AI. Nowadays, most of the movies from produced and the languages, the different are dubbed, and they are releasing in other language, local language, maybe Kannada or Hindi or Tamil or whatever it is, or vice versa. All these things are effectively doing by using the generative AI. This is all one of the advantage. And medical industry can use generative AI identifying the promise of the drug candidates more efficiently. This is one of the best way. See, for example, medical industry is getting generative AI in a very best way by knowing the disease, by knowing the basics of the medicines, whatever the doctor is prescribing. So generative AI will help the pharmacist or will help the doctors to suggest or to prescribe the very efficient drug based on the disease, based on the previous history of the disease, based on the medicine which he has taken, kind of. So coming to architectural film, firms use generative design the adapt the prototype of more quickly. Architecture, you all know architecture means I am referring to a building drawing and all those things. Have your own architectural information so that one can think of and one can generate a new systems. Next, the last one which I want to focus on, gaming companies can use AI to design a game content at various things. So these are all some use cases of generative AI in the industry. So generative AI, whatever the earlier slide which I was discussing is general use cases. These are the specific generative AI used by a specific industry. You take any industry, you take education, you have a generative AI advantage. You have a civil engineering or mechanical or architecture or medical or film media, manufacturing, legal, finance, or wherever you go. Banking, finance, security, insurance, whatever the industry you go, whatever the vertical you go, they are effectively using generative AI in an industry for the better content delivery, better successful of the transaction, they're better successful of their business. Generative AI is helping them in shaping their business. So let me take you through the difference between AI, generative AI and AI. See, we all know what is the difference. We all know what is the conventional AI. AI, I just explain one example. Generative AI is the one which is generating. So what? Let me take you through some 5 to 6 comparative statement of generative AI. Generative AI focus, where it focus. Conventional AI focus on creating a human-like interactions and conversations, whereas generating AI generating the create and original content. Correct? It create a original content. Applications, chatbots, virtual assistants, customer support. Whereas generative AI will help you to text. It will create an image, music generation, creative application. So NLU, understanding the natural language unit. So generative AI will learn the pattern to generate a new content. It will not just like generative AI will not just like generate whatever the language you choose. It will understand the pattern. It will generate the pattern with a new language, with a new content. So content management. So in case of conventional AI, maintains the content for coherent and conversations. Generative AI content based on the learned patterns. So response, relevant to response, whereas generative AI responses based on the product, based on the training data. So user interaction, user will engage in the dynamic and interactive dialogues in the AI. But in case of generative AI, it generates the content without direct copying. Then what will do? It will not directly copying. It will take, train, and pre-process, training the model and compare the model and produce it. Means what? It takes the history of the data and it predicts. It takes the sentimental analysis into consideration. So these are some difference between generative AI and AI. So at the outset, the generative AI is helping almost all the fields of the life of today, and it is making our life very simple if you know how efficiently you can use. If you know what kind of data you are looking, if you know what kind of problem you are working, if you know what kind of solution you are looking, then generative AI is one of the best solution for nowadays. So with this, I'll conclude my discussion. Any questions? I will be happy to take.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ravi Kumar. Yeah, I think that's one
Yes.
person Yeah, Rajshekhar, please unmute your mic and you can ask question. Rajshekhar,
Hello.
hello.
Rashekar sir,
Yeah.
go ahead, sir.
Sir, thank you. Thank you for the wonderful talk. You have given a lot of insights into generative AI and given a lot of examples and case studies. Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful talk. My question is, you
Yes, sir.
highlighted the concerns of researchers regarding plagiarism. So
Yes, sir. Yes.
definitely it's a greatest concern. But now,
Yes, sir.
how are the plagiarism software ready for this AI generated information or content to be detected? That is
Sir,
my
it is
question.
there. Yeah, it is there, sir. It is there already. See, the plagiarism, what will happen is, moment you go for something to be generated, for example, you are working for some problem statement for your students or your research. If you moment you go and start working on that, it'll pull the data from relevant information on wherever it is available, right? Moment you get that information, you put it in your report or whatever it is, then the plagiarism comes into picture. So that interface is still working, and I think definitely in 1 or 2 years that information is also taken care, and a new model, new engine for a generative AI will come, sir. This is one of the biggest concern for the researchers, sir.
Oh yes. So I mean, it's not fully resolved.
It's not fully, sir.
Yes, sir.
Still a team is working on that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, any other questions to me, sir?
I want to ask the participants. Any other questions to Dr. Ravi? I think Dr. Ravi Kumar, I thank you on behalf of our Principal Secretary, Education Department, and all the other officials and principals of government engineering colleges and staffs and students for the wonderful generative AI. So within a short notice, I requested you to make a presentation. And one participant, Mr. Reish, is actually requesting you to share the slides. Okay.
Yeah, I will share it to you.
Now.
You can pass, sir.
Yeah, offline sharing. Yeah, I will just collect it from him and I'll share it to you. Thank you very much, Dr. Ravi Kumar, for your wonderful speech on generative AI. I think there are a lot of challenges.
Yes.
Threats.
Yes, sir.
But definitely
Lot
when
of
it is
threats are
used,
there.
when it is used for a tool will help in so many ways. And since I saw one poster recently where if you want to use it, pursuing your PhD, well, all your stages of PhD work, there are tools available for you, which makes your research very comfortable and easier. So only thing is, you have to use a tool with a lot of responsibility, with a lot of concern, and a lot of and then only I think we'll be able to have make use of these particular tools. So anyway, ethical considerations are very challenging here. Yeah, thank you very much for throwing insights of generative AI to all the participants. So the participants will definitely take this initiative, take your points seriously, and they'll adopt in their professional or personal life for their usage. So thank you very much, Dr. Ravikar, once again, on behalf of all the participants here. Wholeheartedly thank you for this,
Thank you.
making it more interesting and wonderful. Thank you very much. Yeah,
Thank you.
I thank
Thank
all
you,
the
sir. Thank you.
thank you all the participants for patience listening for 2 hours, more than 2 hours. So making this AROHAN lecture series 7 a successful one. So thank you very much. I thank Honorable Principal Secretary and our Honorable Commissioner and Honorable Director for their wonderful support in making this AROHAN series a successful one. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for an opportunity. Thank you, your
Thank
team, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.